It began in Ferguson with Michael Brown and with Trayvon Martin. All right, Trayvon Martin, the defendant, was acquitted. And in Ferguson, Michael Brown, they didn't even bring charges against him. The Justice Department couldn't bring anything against him. So it was based on a lie, hands up, don't shoot. Now, this whole Black Lives Matter movement is based on something that is not true. And here's the bottom line. As a prosecutor, I prosecuted cops who didn't do their jobs. But there is a social contract in this country, and we have vigilante justice if we don't follow it. That means the police do their job, you don't like what they do, then you make a complaint. You don't go out and kill cops like 5 in Dallas because they're white.
All right, so Endel, stay on the convention here. Yeah. Now, do you think it was wise of the convention, people who put this thing together, to have the mothers of Eric Garner and Michael Brown and the others, have them first and talk about how their sons and their children were killed by cops? Why not have a moment where you bring out the parent, bring them together? The ones that came out last night, bring those mothers and family members along with these mothers and have a moment of unity. That would have worked.
I'm glad Judge Pirro brought up the social contract that we have between the community and the police department. The great power, the great deference, the great honor that we give police department comes with great responsibility. And life and liberty are at stake every time an officer goes out into the streets. The life and liberties of ordinary Americans. And that's what those families represented. They represent people who lost life and liberty.
All of them.
Lost life
both
and liberty.
Sides.
Absolutely, on both sides. And in order for us to deal with it, we have to have this type of dialogue, not just people racing to one side with their talking points or racing to another side with their talking points, but a real conversation about how it's affecting both people. When I looked at the officer, one of the officers that died in Baton Rouge, I looked at his Facebook status that went viral, and he was talking about when he's not in uniform, he's looked at with suspicion by one group, and when he's in uniform, he's looked at with suspicion by another group.
You're preaching to the choir right now. Everyone agrees with that. My problem, my issue, and our issue has been there was a moment that the Democrats could have used and brought some unity together between law enforcement and Black Lives Matter or mothers of sons who were killed by officers.
Putting them together is
But there's no moral equivalency there. Here's the thing. Michael Brown was a thug who engaged in a strong-arm robbery and reached for a cop's gun. What he did was so outrageous that no charges, no wrongdoing against anyone. I'm sorry. I don't see the moral equivalency here.
Focus on one case.
Well, that is the genesis of Black Lives Matter.
Charles Kinsey was a therapist helping an autistic patient who was shot with his hands up on his back.
Yeah,
that's another case.
Okay, well,
so
why
we have both sides.
No,
we have both sides, and we have to look at the whole picture.
Both sides here. The police have the power and the obligation to protect us. It's not a negotiation. It's not something where you have
with that power.
You know what?
They have to have transparency and accountability for that power.
No, the
if they
street
do wrong,
people
you have to be able to
cannot
see
take it
it
into their own hands. The courts do it.
All right, we're going to have to leave.